So there's a new style of content that has actually been showing an upward trajectory when it comes to, I guess, just building trust and building an actual audience that likes what you have to say, resonates with your character. It really essentially what it's doing is connecting with people on a deeper level that isn't just like business strictly. I think the business statistics and the resume matters still a lot. People want to see that stuff as well. But I think when it comes to like the long form stuff that I'm going to start doing, and I recommend you do, start doing stuff that's a little bit more like building the brand, like showing a little bit of the behind the scenes, a little bit more raw. And I think one way to look at it is almost like doing like a live stream version of things, and that could be literal. You can turn your live stream on and do it like that, or you can do it sort of like I'm doing this video, whereas I'm going to pre-record it. I'm making this now. I have an idea of where I want it to go. There's no script, and I'm just going to try to be as authentic as I can, just like literally just going to be myself, which I try to do in every video. But when you're reading off a script, it makes it a little bit like you're reading, and so you have to like try to act like you're not reading. So you're like kind of trying to act normal instead of just being normal. If that makes any sense. But I kind of want to take you behind the thought process of where the business is at now, where we're headed, and like I want you to join me. And I like this style of content better because I'm just not good at the other style. And this kind of plays into how I am in real life, which is very open and authentic. And for some reason, I'm able to just build trust fast with people, not like a tactic or like a psychological thing. I just one of my blessings, one of the gifts that God has given me is the ability to connect and resonate with people of all walks of life, all industries, all businesses, whatever it is. And so, anyways, let's dive into kind of what we're going to talk about here. And the first thing is I want to talk about where my business has been in the last 3 years to current date, like to now. And then I want to talk about how I believe it's going to shift, where it's going. Okay. And so let me pull up my notes here and we'll dive in. But first, just to kind of talk about where we're at now, I think that, well, I don't think this, I know right now we're in a really, really awesome spot business wise. So we're still generating leads from word of mouth referral, and that's great. We've been really crushing on the ad side of things as well. And so we're just trying to dial it in. We're trying to figure out like who we're speaking to, who we want to get really narrowed to help. Because my ultimate goal is to build a business that builds businesses. And we do that now, but what I mean is I want to be the guy that builds this specific type of business. So no matter what situation you're in, if you come to us, we will literally take you from where you are to your desired result. And we're doing that in a sense now, but only in one small piece, which is the marketing piece. You know what I'm saying? There's also a sales piece, there's a fulfillment piece, there's like a logistics and operations piece that we don't do for our clients. And that's because we're a marketing company. We don't advertise that we're going to do A to Z. And then we're only really specialized in marketing and ads and content. And so currently what we do is paid ads, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. We do SEO at a very high level, and then we do content, and that's probably our best area of expertise because we've just been doing content for so long. And it's awesome. Like I'm leaning into the niche of like blue collar, specifically like construction and contracting. And there's a reason for that, and there's a reason it's taken me this long to actually like kind of dive in. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is like I've been super fortunate to grow up with a dad. My dad is such an awesome guy. Like he's the reason that like my logo is that. He's the reason that I'm here. He's just instilled me with such a strong belief into myself that honestly that's the biggest thing ever. I don't know if I won't ever be able to repay him for that. And if you are a father, I highly encourage you to just instill that into your kids Just the idea that they can do whatever they put their minds in, like what they put their minds to, what they put effort and hard work towards, because it's so true. And just because my dad told me that growing up, I literally feel like I can do anything, which is kind of crazy. It's silly sometimes and stupid, but like really need that confidence when it comes to building a business. Because in the early days, we were making $0, for multiple months. And so anyways, I was just fortunate enough to grow up with a guy that just works his ass off, quite frankly. Like blue collar guy. My dad is electrician by trade and was a lineman for 20 plus years, almost 30 years. And he still does side jobs. And this is what he calls them as side jobs. But like really what it is he's got like a side hustle where he's a handyman doing everything you can think of, all the trades. And he's done that for as long as I can remember, literally. And so he's always worked 2 jobs pretty much. And one of them's part-time, but essentially he's working, works around the clock. And, no college degree, just grit, hard work, integrity, and just learning on the job, learning from mentors, and just doing repetition after repetition after repetition, which is super admirable. And I think that my generation, like I don't even know what generation I am. I'm 28, so whatever generation that is. But like, we can learn from that because these guys, our parents, grandparents, they didn't have the access to all this information that we had. They just had mentors or watched from a distance, or most oftentimes they would just jump into the thing and learn as they did it and messed up a ton, and they'd fix it and they'd do it better the next time. But they would just keep getting the reps in, keep learning. And so that was how my dad was. And so growing up, I worked for my dad and did all sorts of different types of jobs, from electric work to digging ditches, building fences, built like a shed, like a barn, like a massive structure in our backyard in a residential neighborhood that was like across the street from our high school. Definitely wasn't permitted, but he did it anyways. All sorts of things. You name it, we've done it. Like, I remember one time me and my brother got on a raft to throw in this like some sort of like pump, like a water pump, into the lake, into the town we used to live in, that powered the sprinklers, like irrigation kind of thing, irrigation pump that we threw it in the lake. We had to like paddle out there on like this little raft, dump it, and then like it was the most sketchy thing ever. Like just stuff like that all the time. And I whenever I started my business, I didn't really want to get into really a specific avenue, mainly because it was just like, I don't want to do that. Like I grew up doing that, wasn't the funnest, kind of gritty, kind of like, dirty and not the most attractive thing. And I was like, I don't want to make videos about that, man. Like, there's cooler stuff out there. And then like by the grace of God and by like, his design is like, I just started getting more and more construction type jobs and blue collar jobs just that landed in my lap. And so finally, over the past couple months, I've been kind of building out my new structure and what I'm doing. But I've decided to just kind of fully like lean into that, to that blue collar commercial construction, regular, residential construction, contracting positioning, where we're going to take on these companies and we're going to blow them up. We're going to make the most badass content for them. We're going to increase their marketing probably from 0 to 100 because most of these guys don't have any marketing. They rely so heavily on word of mouth, referrals, just telling your neighbor and like hoping for the best. For some people it works really good, for others not so much. And so we're going to bridge that gap in the industry. And there's a couple people out there that do this already, but not very many. And I think I could do it really, really well. But I think I put it off for so long because I just wasn't attractive, and I didn't want to niche down because at the end of the day, I was like, oh, well, I want to be open to all the jobs. But in reality, it's like the way you become a specialist is you specialize in one area, okay? And so that's what we're doing. We're going to specialize in the blue collar construction, contracting space, home builders, that kind of thing. And so what that means for anybody watching this that's not in that industry, fill out the application anyways. If you're interested in working with us and you want to get high quality media, run your ads, all done for you, that kind of stuff. We're integrating AI here soon. So like we're going to have AI systems that are just helping you, even more so. So you don't even have to think about the marketing side of things. But if that's you, just fill out the application if you're interested. This isn't like a sales video, but like my heart behind this is saying like, just fill it out. If it makes sense, we'll work with you. We just don't advertise to people like, outside of the trades or the blue collar industries. But there's a lot of good and the bad that comes with it. But like my ultimate goal is to become the guy that's able to go into a blue collar company and say, hey, listen, we crush with marketing. So like we're going to get you leads. We're going to generate new revenue through leads, new sales. But this, and this are problems. And like these need to be fixed. So I want to be like the guy that can build these companies, because I've worked with massive companies. Like you wouldn't believe, like I have NDAs signed with these companies. That's how big they are. And like I've been able to see some of the stuff inside. Obviously can't talk about the stuff that's like very, very specific and signed an NDA about, but a lot of the stuff is just like operational. Like it's not in terms of like it's out of reach, but most of the fact that it's like, it's just scaled up, right? Residential scaled up. And so it's not crazy, and you can do it. If you're watching this video and you own a contracting company or a blue collar company, you can do it. You can grow. I've seen it happen. I've been a part of it. But sorry, I got a text, kind of threw me off there. But what I would say is like I was so apprehensive to this idea, and now I'm leaning into it fully, and I'm super excited to do that. And so I'm building everything out behind the scenes, about to launch relatively soon. So just stay tuned for that. Yeah, but I think one of the biggest drivers behind this new endeavor is really because of the fact that I saw my dad doing all this hard work. And hear me out here. I don't think so. I follow biblical principles, right? I'm a follower of Christ. I'm a Christian. I believe that God has these principles that are laid out in front of us, that if we follow them, we will see the results from them, right? And so I'm not saying that everybody's going to get rich. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying any of the prosperity gospel stuff, like pay me money, I'll give you blessings, or God is going to give you blessings. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are steps and like ways that God has laid business out, that if you do these things, you don't have to work for 40 years as hard as you can, white knuckling it and like breaking your bones and sweating your butt off every day. Like there's ways to grow and to scale up and to make more money, work less hours, work physically like less hard. And my dad, unfortunately, still in the grind, and like if he watches this, Dad, I love you, man. And I'm happy that you're still able to do it at like, 50, almost 60 years old. But the idea that that's for the rest of your life, I don't subscribe to that. And I've told him this, and I hope that, one day he'll listen to me, but like, that isn't the design. Like, I think we are supposed to work for as long as we possibly can. Right. But work doesn't always mean work your ass off, work your knuckles to the bone and like, breaking your back every day. That's not what it means. Right. Like there's ways to do things. And I think my role on this earth for the time being in this season of my life is to help the hardworking blue collar guys get out of that grind, start building smart biblical based businesses that work for them, allow them to take time with their families and take vacations and enjoy their weekends, while building America. Like whether it's commercial or residential, you're building America. You're building people's homes. You're building property. Like you're building barns, barn doors. You're building new buildings, commercial properties. You're building America, and you're building the future. And so if you're out there grinding your knuckles in the dirt all day, every day, you're going to wear yourself down. You're going to get burnt out physically and mentally, and you're not going to actually be helpful in the future. And so my goal is to bridge that gap. Right now, that is in marketing. That is with content, paid ads, SEO, and then, of course, AI. And so that's what my goals are for now, to just build this up as big as I can get it. And I'm not one to be like, oh, I want to hit $50,000 a month or $100,000. But I think those are milestones that are semi-important in terms of like how much you're helping people. And I also believe in the principle that like where your treasure lies, therefore there your heart also is, right? And so like yeah, it's an investment, but it's like you're going to put skin in the game when you're invested. Everybody does, right? That's why when you pay for a trainer, you lose the weight. When you try to do it on your own, it's really hard, right? Um, so these are things that have flown across my mind, and I'm excited. I'm excited to help people on this level, on this scale. And so let me lay out what this looks like for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay. So for now, I'm going to build out just like the core offering, which is done for you. You know, you don't have to think about your marketing. We'll do it for you. You get the leads, you convert them into sales, into projects. That's the first element. The second element would be to help the smaller guys who are just either getting started or they're not able to afford the done for you service yet. And that's going to look like really like a course build out. And as my team grows, that will also grow with like the level of service we're able to give. But for the most part, it's just going to be really detailed course that will be available in the future. Some of it's available now, but it's mostly higher level, it's not finished yet. And so first 2 steps. And then we're going to scale everything up. We're going to do like a consulting thing where my goal is to just be like, hey, listen, if you want your contracting or construction company to grow, you bring me onto your team as a consultant. I will literally pick everything apart, tell you which levers to pull to increase the revenue, to increase your business as a whole. And then eventually to scale you out, to systemize the business owner out so that you're no longer doing the day-to-day work. Eventually no longer doing like the direct sales, just a couple of them, but you're mostly doing the CEO role and like overlooking marketing. I believe marketing is going to be huge, and the CEO or owner should always be a part of that. And sell it, keep it, make it a legacy business, which would be really cool. And that's what I'm trying to do with my business, is make it a legacy business for my kids if they want to participate. So yeah, that's the future of AV Media Company. That's the future of what we're doing. We're trying to help the builders build by creating, right? We're the creators. We're going to create. We're going to help the builders build. And so I'm super excited and super pumped for that. And so this is a little update video. And expect more of these raw videos like this, because I absolutely love doing them like this. I can't do the scripts, not my thing. But I could do this all day, every day. And so you can expect 1 video a week like this. And matter of fact, I'm actually starting my podcast back up in my studio that's down the hall here. And so if you're a blue collar or if you're a service-based business owner, doesn't matter if it's blue collar, ideally blue collar, just so there's like a connecting piece. But if you're a service-based business owner, then I want to talk to you here in person. And I'm located in Round Rock, Texas. I want to talk to you in person. I want to have an interview in my studio where we are sitting down, we're chopping it up, talking business, talking what's working, what's not working, giving you media tips to help you grow that I think would help you grow, breaking down what you're doing and cool, funny stories, terrible stories about sucky times, all that, everything in between. That's what we're doing here, okay? And so if you want to be a part of building the future of America by helping the builders build, by creating, then I suggest you subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the videos to come in the future because they're going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm incredibly pumped, and it's only a matter of time. This is me documenting. This is me building in public, and so I want you to be a part of it. And and for reference, this year, oh man, I've never said this before, but we're on track to do I think just shy of top line revenue this year. I don't want to say it. We're in the 6 figures, which is amazing. Double or maybe, if not tripled last year's revenue. And so we're doing amazing. God has been so faithful, blessing our business. Literally, this has been the craziest year of my life in the best ways ever. And we're just getting started. So I appreciate you watching this video. We'll talk to you in the next one, and have a blessed rest of your day. And see you in the next one.